It is very, very uncalled for at this time around for the design of naira to happen right now. So, and I disagree with the other public opinion on the impression of the party. But this is a totally mess by President Muhammad Buhari, who allowed this thing to happen at this ungodly hour. So, because if President Muhammad Buhari can listen to the advice of the only CBN governor and the bankers without put masses into consideration, so it is very, very uncalled for, because it's governed on the masses, not on the CBN governor alone and the banker. We know that the banker and the CBN governor, they are our problem here in Nigeria. So they are our problem, and they are the one that inflicts the serious hardship on the masses of Nigeria.
Now, who is to be blamed? Is it the president, the CBN governor, or the banks who are supposed to implement the policies? The question is that, corruption is at all levels, both at the CBN and even at the banks. Now, if you want, I don't even know how facts, except I have to do my fact checking. There's this saying that before you get up to 40 million, you have to know someone in the of a bank branch who will connive to give you, and you give a certain percentage of that amount. Let's say if it's 40 million, that means you are willing to give a bribe of 1 million to get such. So I think it's a two-sided coin, not the president. The president shouldn't be blamed, because I think he meant well for this in the sense of vote buying. Secondly, and those people who want to use money to influence this election. The question is, even the CBN governor who brought this, is there any monitoring and evaluation team at the CBN helm of affairs that will monitor the implementation of this policy at the financial institution, that's at the bank, which is the windows for disbursing these. As about 2 days ago, somebody sent me a video clip whereby certain banks were being closed by the CBN officials because they were holding the new naira. That's to show you that there's corruption, even at the. But that you ask yourself, is it the CBN governor or the CBN itself is being at the institution? Are they doing lip service or eye service? So the CBN governor would have done this with the help of the president, who has the executive power to say, okay, the CBN governor, go ahead. And there's still also this same, what will I call it, rancor between the National Assembly and the CBN on the implementation. But I think it's fine, it's a good policy. To me, my own opinion is I love the policy because of being as a candidate in this election is going to do away with vote buying, because during my campaign in Imo State, I think I'm not seeing people, even if there's campaign service, not like then you will see surveillance. So it's it's a welcome policy. But what I'm saying in essence is that there should be monitoring and evaluation team to monitor this new naira redesign.
This cashless structure that federal government are trying to bring out, it's something good, but at the same time they didn't put things in place. So the scarcity of naira now, the real issue is not really about the government. It's us in general, to be honest. When we start with the banks, the CBN, they said they have released all the nairas, all the new naira notes to the banks. And from what we are seeing in social medias, some banks are actually hiding the money. And when we come to the POS, it wouldn't be fair to them, because like they go and sleep at the bank and they will have to pay some people, like I heard some stories. So the charges in the POS system is somehow, so to be honest, we can't really blame anyone at the moment. It's from the root of the problem, from the beginning of changing the naira itself. When we know we have no advanced structural network that can deal with this kind of problem, why should we even start with it in the first place? Like this morning, I was about to come to work. I ordered a Bolt. I later on, like my network wasn't going. I gave him my number that please, you should try that and remind me later to pay him. How is that fair? When you've gone, you've wasted your fuel and everything and picking someone. Some people might not pay the money, which is not fair. which will obviously bring trust issues between people. Well, we hope things get better, but things are not easy.
I'm seeing this thing straight to CBN governor. CBN governor itself is to call to question. So he needs to be questioned, because when the head, the apex head, is not okay, what are you expecting from the branches? That's exactly what is happening now. Because they seize the bank, all the banks in Nigeria sees that the CBN governor is corrupt. So they too are corrupt. And most of the atrocity so that they are doing, in terms of that, anybody brought money to Nigeria, so the CBN and the MD of all the commercial bank connect together and sit on that money. So instead of that, they say go to Ministry of Justice, go and see this and that, and get your clearance. So whereas in other country, it's not like that. We have Ghana that when you bring the money to their country, they will welcome you because they want to develop their country. But in Nigeria, we have resources. We don't take care of that. We do what we're after is to embezzle on hard-earned money of other people, of masses in Nigeria.
But the point is that Nigeria is not known. We are now in the era of cashless policy. You ask ourselves, is the society or the environment welcoming the cashless policy? Nigeria is known to be a society whereby everybody must carry cash. Even at the market, the rural woman, the most important thing, how are they being inclusive in the cashless policy? I think we've not been right for this cashless policy. We should take this policy, if there are good policies that will really mean well for the economy or for stemming corruption, we should take it one by one. But Nigeria, it's all like we copy and paste. We get this from the Western world, and we do it like a fire brigade thing that it's something we have to do sensitization. It's a welcome, just as it's causing hardship, it's causing pains, but with time we get used to it. Why is it causing pain? Because Nigerians are known to always have hard cash in their house. But the people, is it the common man or common woman who doesn't even have much money? The question is the politicians that hold this cash. The pains, the people feeling this pains is not even the high net worth individuals. It's the rural woman, the rural man, the peasant man who doesn't even have much money. And just, okay, why would Nigeria feel disgruntled when you want to withdraw at about maybe 10,000 naira, you are being subcharged for 2,000 naira as against 200 or 300 naira, which it used to be before. So the pains is much. I feel the pains because I'm in Nigeria. I feel it. I'm also being affected.
We are even seeing the naira here in Abuja. Places like the rural areas or other states, they don't even see the naira. I have a friend that is a road safety officer. When he earned his salary, he sent 10,000 naira to his mom in the bank. She couldn't cash out the money. We needed to find naira here and package it in envelope and send it to her through car. It doesn't make sense. So to be honest, the way federal government started with this, it's just not fair. To be honest, they need to like structure everything, make sure our systems and our softwares are updated and have the capacity for us to go to this next stage of cashless society.
Well, everybody know President Muhammad Buhari, sorry to say, because he listened to the Kaaba in Nasarok. And the Kaaba, they are the enemy of public, enemy of masses in Nigeria. So those are the problems we have with his government right from onset. We thought when Abakari died, so we thought our problem has been solved, but we now know who are the great Kaaba, the new generated Kaaba. So people like Mama Daura and co, there's one small boy with him that called Tunde, whatever. So those are the Kaaba that are giving us headache in Nigeria. They forget that their family, their generation, even I thought they are hold about to grave. They don't think about the future to come. But their family will surely share the pain that Nigeria is passing through now.
The truth about this matter, about this naira redesign, I think the governors met with. Why will you ask that? Why against when the president said there's no going back on the naira redesign policy? Why is it at this moment the president is saying 2 days is going to review? It's because those who are being disgruntled, we are being benefiting from the old policies and feeling disgruntled, and that's why they met which is the governors who met the president, and because they want to really take advantage of this, what would I call it? Take advantage of the old policy, and they said, okay, let's let the president take a review of the policy. My brother, I don't think we know our president. There's going to be a, what would I call it? Just a lackadaisical attitude. It has come to stay, it has come to stay. But the only thing is just that Nigeria should see how they can adapt to it. There are so many creative ways where let's see how we can live without cashless policy. To me, I think it's even for me, like me, I would have been affected by, let's say, the sit-at-home bandits, the armed robbery, kidnapping happening in the south. It has gone a long way stemming this issue. Because if you don't have cash, nobody will attack you. So to me, it's a welcome policy. It's a welcome policy, but let the governors, let the president see how it could mitigate the hardship. If there can be any intervention policies that can stem this ongoing hardship within the middle class and the lower class of the society.
I hope they will extend it, honestly, because people are really suffering. Because for them to say they will not extend it, it will really cause chaos. I'm just coming back from the bank now. I went to do an interbank transaction, but before I entered, it was like war. So you can just imagine for them to say they have even stopped collecting the old naira notes. They said if they stop collecting it, that you can go to the bank and deposit it. But I don't think that will still work. So I just pray they consider the masses around and increase the duration of it.
My advice to give to President is just to share his words and yield to the advice of National Assembly. Let this naira design be ongoing till mid of this year, so that the old note will gradually elude the market, while the new note will be everywhere. Because I went to the bank yesterday. I went to about 4 different banks yesterday. The bank was locked, and there's no money in their ATM this thing to dispense. So what are we talking about? Particularly here in Abuja, where we have federal capital this thing. We don't have money. We went to the bank. No money. We cannot even enter inside the bank. It's locked. So, and then get to the ATM, you cannot get 10 kobo there. So UBA, Senate Bank, Access Bank, all of them, they are there. Except I met Wema Bank dispensing new naira notes yesterday at Barnet side. The rest, they locked, and their ATM is not working. So those are the things that is on ground now. So he needs to call a spade a spade. He should yield to the advice of National Assembly and forget about this rubbish-sided talk from the Kaaba. That is what I want to advise him as a president of the nation, as a #1 citizen of this country.
Should be honest in all our dealings, you know. And let me say, whatever we do as a leader or whoever you are, before you go on, before you introduce any policy, you should consider the kind of the interest or welfare of the masses. Let me say, this naira redesign of a thing, this is not the first time nor the second time. So it has been happening. So we citizens should be humane in all our doings. We should respect God, obey God, respect God, and eschew any corrupt practices. You know, anything that will be detrimental to the image of our society, and anything that will inflict pain on the masses. So let me say, both the CBN or the federal government, they are not wrong because it has been happening. Maybe they have reasons for such, but we should fear God and we should do our things with clean heart. Had it been that the bankers or the CBN or maybe they are doing things the way it ought to be, I don't think there will be any problem in Nigeria.